Hello, everyone. For those who are saying, well, they have to have proof and still waiting for proof of North Koreans, what's the matter, brah? Your fingers fell off? You can't go run the search North Koreans in Ukraine or Chinese in Ukraine? There have been interrogation summaries, videos, photographs. What other proof do you need? If you still don't believe it, go to Ukraine. Go ask Ukraine's intelligence services. Feel free. Anyway, so what's this all about? After the capture of two Chinese nationals, in the continued investigation of what the heck is going on and why are there Chinese nationals fighting in Ukraine, Ukrainian government now states that there are at least 155 Chinese soldiers that they know of, implying that there could be more. And that would not be surprising. So why is this no longer like such a big shock and awe? At least to anyone who has been paying attention. Because remember, this comes not just after North Korea sent troops there officially, but also after it was discovered that we had soldiers from South America, from Africa, from India. Many of them did not know what they were signing up for. Specifically, the Indian nationals were told that they were going in for a job and a lucrative contract to be able to move to Russia, although I don't know why anybody would want that. And then they were packed up and sent off to fight in Ukraine. So this is not that surprising. I think it was only a matter of time. China, of course, is denying this, and this is what I find curious. China is neither the creator nor a party to the Ukrainian crisis. Yes? Then why are you still doing business with Russia? China has been one of Russia's most vehement supporters and trade partners through this entire thing. China, Iran, North Korea, those are all buddies. They're all supplying weapons, supplying munitions to Russia. So you may not be the creator of the conflict, but you sure as hell are a party to it. And China's argument is that we have always required our citizens to stay the heck away from there. Well, apparently that is not working. And the biggest question is, and that's going to be hard to prove, because China has a great big massive disinformation machine, is that does Chinese government know about this and they just choosing to ignore this? Because they're saying, no, we didn't know this. They're saying that these are just private individuals. This is all an accident. But Ukrainian government insists, nope, you knew this. A video has been released on Twitter showing an interrogation clip from the conversation between Ukrainian military and these Chinese captives. One of them said that this was his first time on duty, first time in combat. He had never fired a gun before, which is actually similar to what the North Korean captives have been saying. These men are not trained. They're not really properly prepared to be thrown into combat. And these men talked some about their capture. They're not sure what happened to their fellow combatants. All they could say is that everybody just ran away, everybody dispersed. Still waiting on any kind of decisive response. We talked about this. It's one thing to rally against the little North Korea. It's a whole other thing to try and push back against a huge behemoth like China. And we talked about this several times, about China's significant role in world politics and economy. So, still waiting. What do we know so far is that there is definitely a weapon supply train going on between China and Russia. There have been accusations in the past from the US about supplying armored vehicles, missiles, munitions, all of this used against Ukrainian civilians. And the penalties, if any, have been light for this. For all of China's attempts to present itself as a neutral party, it's no longer working. Of course, Kremlin denies it all. They're saying China is not being drawn in the Ukrainian conflict. Of course they're not. They're already there. You can't be drawn into something that you have already waded into willingly. We now have a confirmation from Ukrainian government that there are indeed Ukrainian troops in Russia's border Belgorod region. And this is where I agree with Zelensky. This is actually a good line. War must return to where it came from. It came from Russia. That's where it must return to. And while the main objective is to protect the Sumy and Kharkiv regions along the border, I think another objective is the same as Ukraine had with the Kursk incursion last August, and that is bringing the war back to Russia, hitting the numerous military objects that are in Belgorod region, and the psychological effect that, you know what, you went and invaded another country, guess what? This can happen to you too. I'm wondering if Zelensky was chuckling when he said US was so surprised when Chinese fighters were captured on Ukrainian territory. But here's something interesting, and this is something all countries should be paying attention to. This is not the first time Russia has been using social media to recruit. So we use social media to share pictures of cats. Russia is using that to recruit people they can use as cannon fodder in Ukraine. Any country, I don't care if you agree with Russia or disagree with Russia, if you have not officially sent troops there, you should be concerned. Ukraine continues to battle to get some more Patriot missile systems, primarily to defend the skies against Russia's ballistic weapons. There's been another drone attack against Kyiv. And we've been talking about this before. This is one of the biggest dangers right now to Ukraine and Ukrainian civilians. Also, U.S. lawmakers, in a bipartisan move, are criticizing Trump's intention to reduce American troops in Europe. In a small act of resistance, NHL is refusing to play against Russia. And there is a big article in The Guardian talking about a Russian family who were dissidents protesting Putin's administration and the war in Ukraine, who came to the U.S. looking for safety and were arrested by ICE. They're now asking U.S. to just let them leave on their own terms and go somewhere else where they might be safe.